Hey guys, what's up? Decayed Matter back again. I'm just here with a quick pickups and impressions video with two new games I've picked up. And those games are Doom 3 Bfg Edition and Resident Evil 6. Now I'm going to first go into Doom 3 Bfg Edition because this is one I was really looking forward to. I'm a huge id Software fan. Ever since, Wolfenstein days, Doom shareware days, all that. So, I mean, I've owned this on a couple platforms, PC and Xbox One, as you can see here. My PC edition. It's my Doom 3 Collector's Edition on Xbox One and Resurrection Evil. Now, the Doom 3 Bfg Edition was basically a chance for id Software to bring the PC experience to home consoles, which before the Xbox One version was kind of smaller levels, dumbed down graphics, stuff like that. It did have a very nice co-op mode though, but this is more akin to the PC version on ultra settings. They've made some changes to the lighting, brightened it up, giving you an armored mounted flashlight. This package includes Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil expansion, and a new story called The Lost Mission. This is about 7 levels, I think, and they say it was cut from the original, but I think it's new material, honestly. Now, my impressions so far is, at first I was pretty favorable of this. I mean, it's 60 frames per second presentation. I like the fact that there's an armor-mounted flashlight, although I do miss the original flashlight just because I really enjoyed it as a melee weapon for bashing zombies and saving ammo. But that brings me to another point about this one, is they've increased the ammo count by a significant amount, so I think you can hold like 600 rounds of chain gun ammo. It seems like you can hold double the capacity of each weapon, which is kind of cool when you think about it at first, but then when you start playing, you realize it does diminish the difficulty significantly, just because before, with weapons like the chain gun, the plasma gun, and the rockets, those were like special use weapons that you got to use for only a few battles before you run out, and then you had to go back to relying on the machine gun, the shotgun, and those took a little more skill to take down the stronger enemies with. But in Bfg Edition, you have so much ammo with these powerful weapons, there's no point of going back to the shotgun or the machine gun, which I think does diminish the difficulty somewhat. But I guess it could be argued that you could just force yourself to use the other guns, which is what I've been kind of doing. And like I said, the presentation is nice, but there is some glitches, which I'm sure you've seen on my channel. When you load a save game or go through a load point in a level, it causes the blood effects in the game, at least the splatter on the environments, to disappear. I didn't quite like that because I always remembered like the visceral feel of, blasting an enemy with a shotgun and seeing the blood splat behind him, and I thought that was cool. And then another glitch you saw was when you use the heart artifact in Resurrection of Evil, it causes all the weapon-based particle effects to disappear. And I would say I was pretty disappointed with the load times on the PS3 version. It's surprising they didn't offer an install option. I mean, the PC version the original can get up to like, 40 seconds with the load times, but this is supposed to be improved, and I mean, the PSN version of this loads in like 10 to 12 seconds, so I think an install option is really necessary for this. But overall, I mean, it's a good package, and just recently, one of the id Software programmers on Twitter have come out and said, yes, we know of the issues, we're going to work on it. So that's good. Hopefully that brings it back up to par with the PC version. I'm not going to recommend the game though yet until they patch it, and it depends on what they actually fix with the patch. But you know, if they fix everything, I would definitely recommend this to people. Maybe I would recommend more the 360 or PC version, just because better loading, and I guess this version has a bit more screen tearing, and all versions employ a dynamic resolution change system where if the frame rate drops, the resolution drops to compensate, and I guess the PS3 version drops its resolution a lot more often. But the plus side is this supposedly has the best version of Doom 1 and 2, which I guess is a little more responsive because I think they integrated some of the systems from Rage to make it a little more responsive or better netcode. And this is actually the only version that has a rumble effect on Doom 1 and 2. I don't think there's ever been a single version of Doom 1 and 2 with rumble effect. I don't even think the Xbox Live Arcade versions had rumble. So that's kind of a plus. Another thing I'd like to touch on with the classic Doom 1 and 2, at least Doom 2, is the censorship. Originally there was Wolfenstein levels in Doom 2. That was secret levels, and you know, it's just like the classic Wolfenstein 3D where you see the Nazi symbols, you fight the SS soldiers, and it has all the classic like music and sound effects. But I guess because of Germany's censorship laws, they were forced to remove all the Nazi imagery, all the Wolfenstein music, the Wolfenstein names, the Wolfenstein enemies. Which, you know, for Germany, it's whatever, but they put that in all versions, and I think that's just unfairly punishing fans of the series, you know, in all territories. They should have made a specific Germany censored version. But, like I said, they're working on a patch, and we'll see how many of the complaints they actually listen to. And one more thing that I hope they patch in this is the controls. There's a few presets, but nothing that really allows you to change the sprint button. There's no longer an aim zoom button, which is really nice for shooting far off enemies. And the circle button is totally unused. I don't see why they didn't put the flashlight on circle and sprint on L1, and then crouch on L3 with a crouch toggle option. But yeah, I've addressed this on the forums, and I guess they're listening, and they're even going to add back the flashlight shadow. So hopefully all that carries over to the console version. So right now I'm unsure about recommending that. If everything gets fixed, it'll be an excellent console version, and I'm saying this trying to be totally unbiased because, you know, I have the PC version. I can run, you know, the SICK mod and high-res textures and everything, which you can see in an earlier video that I just did. But speaking from just a console owner's perspective, it'll be good if they fix it. Now let's move on to Resident Evil 6. This game I was not looking forward to. Everything I saw in the previews had me worried. The beta code looked unfinished, a lot of screen tearing, and looked like it was too actiony. But when the demo came out, I was actually blown away. I was like, hey, this is like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, but with an actual atmosphere. Darkness, zombies, scare moments. Not that I really get scared by games anymore, but hey, it surprised me, so I picked it up. And I am generally favorable of this game. There's a few problems with it, like, you know, the camera angle's a little too close to the character, which just now they've recently announced that they're going to patch that for better camera angles. other than that, I mean, there's some QT events which people have complained about, which are QuickTime events, but I didn't think there was any more than that was in Resident Evil 5 or Resident Evil 4. Most of the QTEs that people complain about were just like button prompts. So I didn't mind that at all. I think the action is good. I like the new melee combat system, the fact you can melee without having to shoot a limb or the head. And I like the graphics. The graphics are very detailed and a definite upgrade even over 5. The frame rate can be a little low, but it's still playable. It'll be interesting to see the PC version, which, you know, maybe I'll pick up if it goes on sale on Steam, but I'm pretty happy with the game. I mean, I've only played about halfway through it, so like I said, both of these aren't reviews, this is just my general impressions. I would say definitely pick this up and don't listen to the reviews, because this is actually a very good title, and surprisingly Capcom pulled through with this one, because recently they've just fallen out of favor with the fans. So, and look forward to the free DLC update, which lets you play co-op in Ada Wong's campaign, and you know, it has the new, you know, pulled back camera angle to improve that, and oh, and it has a new difficulty mode coming out. I think it's called No Hope, maybe? It might be called something else. But yeah, I would recommend Resident Evil 6. I would not recommend Doom 3 Bfg Edition yet. But let's see what id Software and Bethesda does about that. And, well, peace out, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.